Page number Roman 5 contents preface to the third edition, Roman 11, preface to the first edition, Roman 13, preface to the second edition, Roman 15, abbreviations, Roman 17, Roman equivalents of Nagari letters, 21, introduction, Roman 23. Chapter 1, Origins and First Phase 1, circa AD 300 to 750. Page 1. Defining feudalism, grant of administrative rights along with land charters to priests, grants for religious and ideological services, grants for fiscal services, offices paid through land grants in post-Gupta times, villages granted to secular parties for religious and also for secular purposes. Terms for officers and administrative units indicate land grants. Feudal connotation of Amatya, Kumaramatya, and other titles. Hereditary officers. Growing semi-feudal role of village headmen. Origin and growth of the Samantas and their obligations. Loss of royal monopoly over the possession of horses and elephants. Little evidence for commendation. Grant of barren and cultivated land. Differences between Bengal and Madhya Pradesh in respect of land charters. Extension of cultivation through land grants. The mode of agriculture in settled areas. Agriculture in tribal areas. Emergence of temples and brahmanas as landlords. Organization of agricultural production in religious and secular holdings. Position of the peasantry. Visti and contribution of rent in labor. Labor service and the European feudal practice. Servitude of the peasants through transfer to the beneficiaries. The nature and extent of serfdom, breakdown of slavery, and emergence of serfdom. Rise of Shudra peasants, page Roman 6. Quote, self-sufficient, unquote, economic units. Paucity of coins, decline of urbanism and of trade and commerce. Feudalization of guilds and merchants. Irrigation, a local responsibility. Agraharas and European menors. Comparison with the European feudal organization. Substantial landlords and servile peasantry. Chapter 2, Feudal Polity in Three Kingdoms, circa AD 750 to 1000, page 67. Pala grants of fiscal and administrative rights, giving the secular administration of criminal law and justice to religious beneficiaries common in the Pala kingdom. Pratihara, royal grants specified only fiscal rights. Feudatories of Pratiharas gave both fiscal and administrative rights of private justice. Many religious charters carrying fiscal and administrative concessions in the Rashtrakuta kingdom. Comparative paucity of epigraphic evidence regarding secular grants. Specified taxes as payment for some Rashtrakuta officials. Sub-infeudation under the Rashtrakutas and Pratiharas. Right of ejection conferred on the Donis under the Rashtrakutas. A comparative view of officials in the three kingdoms. Growing feudalization of officials. kinship and vassalship, powers, privileges, and obligations of the vassals, the nature of the overlord's control over his feudatory, role of vassals in central and local politics, elevation of the village elders, feudalization of guilds under the Rashtrakutas, no fixed capital for the parlors, imposition of clan aristocracies over settled peasants through the duodecimal system, identification of feudal elements in early medieval polity. Chapter 3, Feudal Economy in Three Kingdoms, circa AD 750 to 1000, page 96. Growth of a class of landed barons at the cost of royal and peasant authority over land. Grantees increasing individual rights in land at the cost of communal agrarian rights. Effects of ejection and sub-infeudation on the peasants. Members of the ruling Gurjara Pratihara tribe reduced by their kinsmen to the position of semi-serfs. Practice of forced agriculture in Rajasthan and extension of forced labor. Economic subjection of the peasantry and scope for new impositions by the grantees in the Pala and Pratihara charters. No legal redress for the peasants belating of Katas, CATAS, and Bhatas on the villages in Bengal, Bihar, Bundelkhand, and Chamba. Feudalization of trade and commerce under the Palas and Pratiharas. Little scope for marketization and growth of self-sufficient units in the countryside. Page Roman 7. Restriction on artisans. Local weights and measures and decrease in money exchange. Trade in luxury objects. Elements in feudal economy. Extra economic methods for the exploitation of the peasantry. 4. Early medieval land rights, circa AD 500 to 1200, page 117. Debate regarding royal ownership and individual ownership of land. Evidence for communal rights from Vedic to Gupta times. Curtailment of communal rights and growth of royal rights. Gupta law books and other records on royal possession. Nature of individual occupation of land down to pre-Gupta times. Growth of individual rights in land in Gupta and post-Gupta times. Resolving contradictory views of the lawgivers on land rights. Comparison with land rights in medieval Europe. Comparison with land rights under Muslim rule. Chapter 5, The Heyday of Political Feudalism, circa AD 1000 to 1200, page 136. Complete political disintegration on the breakup of the Gurjara Pratihara Empire. Origins of the principalities through service grants. Service grants of land fewer in Assam, Bengal, and Bihar. More service grants in Orissa than Assam, Bengal, and Bihar taken together. Frequent land grants to military officials under the Chandelas in Bundelkhand. More grants to civil officials under the Gahadwalas in Uttar Pradesh. Apportionment of land as fiefs among the kinsmen under the Chahamanas. All Chahamana administration not a family affair. Some Paramara land charters to members of the ruling clan. Few epigraphic records of grants to Paramara officials. Paramara vassals and feudatories. Areas set apart for the personal upkeep of the ruling chief and his kinsmen under the Chalukyas. Large territories to vassals and high officers under the Chalukyas. Regular and exclusive levies for payment to officers under the Kalachuris, Chandellas, Gahadavalas, and Chahamanas. Origin and evolution of levies for officials. Functions and obligations of the vassals. Military assignees as a numerous class. Part played by vassals in politics and administration, though not as an organized collective body. High watermark of the feudalization of officials. Draft of land charters to officials. Agni Purana and Lekha Paddhati on the fief holders. Land grants for vassals and high officials well recognized in the 12th century texts. Feudal hierarchy described in text on art and architecture. Summary of the chapter. Roman page 8. Chapter 6, Climax and Cracks. A regional survey of land grants to religious beneficiaries. Largest number of recorded landed intermediaries in the 11th to 12th centuries. Extension of the demesne, D-E-M-E-S-N-E, of the landed beneficiaries because of undefined boundaries. Transfer of enlarged agrarian rights and resources. Distinction between receiving usufruct, USUFRUCT, and rights of ownership. Increase in sub-infeudation. Service grants even for minor functionaries. Transfer of peasants and artisans along with the land. Enumeration of taxes levied from the peasant. Peasant contribution for the fees and maintenance of various royal officials. Feudalization of crafts and commerce in Rajasthan, Malwa, and Gujarat. Climax of feudal economy. Dents in feudal economy. Colonizing activities of the beneficiaries restricted. Disappearance of forced labor under the Paramaras. Chalukyas and Chahmanas. Formation of larger economic units in the countryside. Cash payments levied from artisans and traders in Western India. Revival of towns and trade. Place of consumer goods in foreign trade. Cultivation of commercial crops and revival of trade. The use of araghatta and improvements in shipbuilding. Internal trade helped by better transport. Revival of money coinage. A picture of contrasts. Chapter 7, The Segmentary State and the Indian Experience, page 228. Fieldwork versus historical method. Concept of the state. The Allur society, not a state. Ritual suzerainty and political suzerainty. Ritual suzerainty and the Chola kingdoms. Segmentary concept and the development of the Chola polity. The segmentary state and the Rajput polity. North Indian state, segmentary or feudal. Asiatic mode of production. Caste and the state. Origin of the state. Problems of transition. Inadequacy of the theory of the segmentary state. 8. How feudal was Indian feudalism? Page 276. Organization of tribal society, concept of peasant society, feudalism defined, variations in feudalism, difference between serfdom and feudalism, control of means of production by landlord, 4 graded stages of land rights in the same piece of land, terms used for peasants in medieval inscription and literature, effective control over means of production, passages of changes in the methods and relations of production, page Roman 9, feudalism in paddy producing areas, outcome of forced labor, limitations of the appearance of landlords and subject peasantry, features of caste system, development of judgmani system, expansion of irrigation facilities, the feudal versus the segmentary state. Concluding observations. Conclusion, page 318. Critical characteristics of a feudal formation found in early medieval India. Origin and development of Indian feudalism through land grants. Uneven process of creating a class of landlords. Rich terminology in epigraphs for various types of vassals. Causes of the subjection of the Indian peasantry. Evidence regarding the reaction of peasants. Self-sufficient economy and decay of trade and towns. The historical role of early Indian feudalism. Some similarities between Indian feudalism and its European counterpart. Feudalism not identical with administrative decentralism, but a form of social order. Stages in early Indian feudalism. Appendices 1. The land system in medieval Orissa, circa AD 750 to 1200, page 333. 2. Fortified settlements under the Palas and Chandelas, page 344. Bibliography, page 349. Index, page 375. Preface to the 3rd edition. The 2nd edition of Indian Feudalism was published in 1980. Since then, an important criticism of the nature of the early Indian state has been made by an American scholar, Aiden, A-I-D-E-N Southall, S-O-U-T-H-A-L-L, who has been followed by Burton, B-U-R-T-O-N, Stein, S-T-E-I-N. Southall has written a significant and provocative piece which raises some questions regarding the form and nature of the state in early India. I examined his views in an article in the IHR, volume 16, numbers 1 to 2, 1989 to 90, pages 80 to 108. This piece has been included in the present edition to elucidate the nature of Indian feudalism. Para. In this edition, I have written an introduction which is primarily based on my personal observation of the feudal relics in rural areas. These relics suggest the type of the feudal past that will persist in villages, particularly in northern India. In writing this, I have received some help from Dr. Sita Ram Roy, who deserves my sincere thanks. R. S. Sharma, Patna, 1 November 2005. No page number, preface to the 1st edition. The present book is based on a course of 6 lectures I delivered at the University of Calcutta in 1964 under the auspices of the Center of Advanced Study in Ancient Indian History and Culture at the invitation of its director, Professor Nihar Ranjan Ray. I am grateful to him and the present director, Professor D.C. Sarkar, who kindly organized these lectures and the discussions that followed them and expedited the publication of this work. I wish to acknowledge my debt to Professor A. L. Basham, who has gone through the manuscript and pointed out errors, especially in regard to Indian shipping treated in Chapter 6. Also to Dr. B.P. Mazumdar, who has read the whole stuff and suggested some references, who has read the whole stuff and suggested some references. My thanks are due to Dr. Mrs. Suvira Jaiswal and Dr. Dwijendra Narayan Jha for preparing the index, and to Dr. Sitaram Roy and Mr. Jagannath Mishra for correcting the proofs. Finally, I thank the Puran Press for their unfailing cooperation. Para. As far as possible, all long Sanskrit words or those joined by the rules of Sandhi have been separated by single hyphens, since double hyphens desirable in my cases were not available with the printers. Diacritical marks have not been always used in well-known proper names nor in words of modern Indian languages. Appendix 1 repeats some matter dealt with in the main body of the book, but has been included here to bring out the peculiarities of the land system in a semi-aboriginal tract. Para. I am conscious of the difficulties besetting the study of feudalism in the Indian context, but it is a challenge which has to be taken up and a beginning made. Covering a period of about 9 centuries, my study is intended to be a rough framework within which the problems raised here can be discussed, page Roman 14, in detail at a later stage. Confined to northern India, the present work concerns the political and economic aspects of feudalism and does not consider its impact on social and cultural life. In spite of these limitations, I will feel satisfied if the book succeeds in creating some awareness of the subject among serious students of Indian history. R. S. Sarma, Department of History, Patna University, 15 August 1965. No page number. Preface to the second edition. This book, which was first published in 1965, has generated a debate which is still alive. Most criticisms have been derived from the West European model of feudalism, little realizing that feudal formation was a fairly widespread phenomenon with its variants in different countries. As far as the Indian experience is concerned, I prefer to retain the old chain of arguments, hoping to present a further discussion of the problem at a later stage. An attempt has, however, been made to further clarify the basic elements relating to the emergence of the landlord class and the subjection of the peasantry. The contents have been elaborated, the concluding portion considerably expanded, and the bibliography updated. Para. Mr. J. L. Sardana and Dr. K. M. Shrimali have been kind enough to prepare the index, and Mr. V. K. Jain has helped me with the compilation of the bibliography. I express my sincere thanks to all of them. R. S. Sarma, Department of History, Delhi University, 7 September 1980. Abbreviations, no page number. ARB, Antiquarian Remains in Bihar, D.R. Patil, Patna, 1963. A.S. Arthashastra of Kautilya. A.S.R. Archaeological Survey Reports by A. Cunningham. A.S.S. Anandashrama Sanskrit Series. B.I. Bibliotheca Indica, Calcutta. B capital small r, Brihaspati Smriti. BSOAS, Bulletin of the School of Oriental and African Studies, London. CCIM, Catalogue of the Coins in the Indian Museum, Calcutta, 1 Oxford 1906. Capital C small a l full stop. Calcutta edition of the Mahabharata. CHI Cambridge History of India 1 ED E.J. Rapson Indian reprint Delhi 1955. CII Corpus Inscriptionum Indicarum 123 London 1888 to 1929. 4 Uttacommand 1955. DK Dharmakosha in 3 parts. Lakshman Shastri Joshi Y. Joshi Lakshman Shastri Joshi, WAIY District Satara 1937 to 41. DN Digha Nikaya EI Epigraphica Indica Calcutta and Delhi. Gout G capital small AUT full stop. Capital G small AUT stop, capital D small h stop, capital S stop. Gautama Dharma Sutra. GOS Gaikwar Oriental Series Baroda. HC Harshacharita Banabhatta Nirnay Sagar edition. HCIP History and Culture of Indian People edited R.C. Majumdar Mumbai 1951. HDS History of Dharmashastra 1 to 3 P.V. Kane Pune 1930 to 46. IA Indian Antiquary Mumbai. IB Inscriptions of Bengal 3 N.G. Majumdar Rajshahi 1929. Page 18. IESHR Indian Economic and Social History Review Delhi. IHQ Indian Historical Quarterly Calcutta. IHR The Indian Historical Review New Delhi. JAOS Journal of the American Oriental Society Baltimore. JAT J capital small AT Jataka. JBBRAS Journal of the Bombay Branch of Royal Asiatic Society Bombay. JBORS Journal of the Bihar and Orissa Research Society Patna. JDL Journal of Department of Letters Calcutta University. JESHO Journal of the Economic and Social History of the Orient Leiden. JIA Journal of Indian History Trivandrum. JNSI Journal of the Numismatic Society of India Varanasi Banaras. JOR Journal of Oriental Research Chennai. JRAS Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland London. KNS Kamandaka Nitisara. Kama S Kama Sutra. Katya K capital small ATYA Katyayana Smriti. LP Lekha Paddhati. Manu Manusmriti. Mark P Markandeya Purana. Capital M small BH Mahabharata. Capital N small AR Narada Smriti. NS New Series. PTS Pali Text Society London. SBE Sacred Books of the East 50 volumes edited by F. Max Muller, Oxford 1879 to 1900. Capital S small EL stop, capital I small NSCR. Select inscriptions 1 D.C. Sarkar, Kolkata 1942. SP Shanti Parva. Shudras, Surdas in Ancient India, R. S. Sharma, Delhi 1958. Capital V small a stop, capital P stop. Vayu Purana. Vas capital V small a s stop, capital D small h stop, capital S stop. Vashishtha Dharma Sutra. Vishnu, Vishnu Smriti. Yaj, Yagnavalkya Sriti. Page Roman 19. Roman 19. Besides the journals and reports covered by the abbreviations, the following have also been used. Enquiry, Delhi. Indo-Asian Culture, New Delhi. Journal of Asian and African Studies, Leiden. Journal of Economic History, Wilmington. Journal of World History, UNESCO publication. Journal of the UP Historical Society, Lucknow. Madras Report on Epigraphy, Madras. Proceedings of the 24th Session of the Indian History Congress, Delhi, 1961. The Quarterly Review of Historical Studies, Calcutta. Summaries of Papers, Indian History Congress, Silver Jubilee Session, Pune, 1963. Next page, Roman equivalents of Nagari letters. It's a visual page. Please consult your reader if you need it. Next, introduction, page number Roman 33.